Welcome back then guys to this live stream. It is now time for the qualifying session for IFMC GP3 ahead of their race 1 tomorrow. And again, bright and sunny here for this qualifying session, 35 minutes of action. And hopefully we will have a good session. If you didn't see what happened last weekend, the first weekend of the Season 4 Championship for them, very interesting results. The first race was won by Joseph Niergarten and the second race won by Jenson Button. The championship leader going into this race though is Ferdinand Hasberg in the Auto Jamaica car, thanks to his consistent results in race 1 and race 2 last weekend in Spain, but he only leads it by 1 point ahead of Joseph Niergarten, who occupies himself in second place, and I believe it's Jenson Button who rounds up the top 3 in the Drivers' Championship. A couple of news flashes though, just to get you aware of. One of them is that Antoine Hubert for KR Racing has got a qualifying ban today for what he did to Alexander Rossi in the first race at Spain, so he will not be taking part in this qualifying session. And on top of that as well, Sebastian Buemi has been handed a weekend ban for causing multiple incidents in race 1 as well, so he's not racing this weekend. He is taking a ban, so instead at last minute he will be replaced by a former employee of Kenny Star Motorsport, that being the Italian of Jarno Trulli. So Jarno Trulli will be taking his place today in the Kenny Star Motorsport this weekend. Buemi will be back next time around in Belgium, because that will be the next weekend for GP3. They'll not be on for the next 2 weeks because we'll be travelling to the States at Texas and Mexico. So that's that then, really. So as mentioned, bright and sunny here at Donington, as it was a little earlier on in GP2. And without further ado, let's start this then. So without further ado, let's get to the qualifying session for IFMC GP3. So here we are then in the pit lane. Hubert is looking on from the sidelines, and we're going to go to the end of the pit lane with... Let's go to the end of the pit lane with... where are we going? The end of the pit lane with, here we are, Rerun. So we will wait and get this session underway. 35-minute session as per usual, as we wait for some track activity to kick us off here for IFMC GP3, this qualifying session here at Donington Park. And we have some track activity in the form of Santina Ferrucci in the AYP racing car. AYP struggling last time out in Spain, and they're hoping for redemption here at Donington. For a few teams, of course, it is their home race as well. So it's the first of 2 visits to the United Kingdom. We're here at Donington for the European Grand Prix at round 6. And then for round 10, we'll be off to the British Grand Prix at Silverstone. And so going back there yet again, as flat out goes Ferrucci on that, as I just adjust the stand there a little bit, as he goes out of McLean's there. And also on track with him, we have the man who won race 1 last weekend in Spain, Joseph Niergarten. He's out there as well as he goes through the double Coppice corner. Ferdinand Hasberg out on track, the early championship leader in IFMC GP3, is out on track in the Auto Jamaica. Lucas Di Grassi out on track as well, as is Jack Aitken for Willows Racing. Antonio Fawocco out there, as is Robert Kubica. Nick Keifeld out there, as is Kyle Kaiser. Rerun. Will Power has just come out onto the track, and Nico Kari and Daniel Kafia will be joining the track quite soon, so we should be expecting 13 cars out on track. And as mentioned, of course, Antoine Hubert looking for the sidelines as a result of his qualifying ban for what he did to Alexander Rossi last weekend at race 1 in Catalonia. As now Ferrucci has started a lap, he'll be the one setting the benchmark time for everybody to beat, as the AYP driver goes down towards turn 1 on the track. So through the first corner then goes Santina Ferrucci, heading out the corner, heading down the hill towards the left-hander, as he will go up towards the old hairpin now then. And so through the old hairpin then goes Santina Ferrucci, using a lot of curb on the outside, heading up the hill towards McLean's. And Ferrucci now then just flicking the car in through the left and right-hander. And Ferrucci losing a lot of curb on the outside there, then up towards Coppice corner, then we go. And Ferrucci now then trying to get his foot down as best as possible, heading down the back straight now then towards the chicane, which will take him onto the Grand Prix section of the track, heading up towards that chicane now then, flicking the car through the left and right-hander as quick as possible, using a lot of curb on the outside, up towards the hairpin now then. We'll go Santina Ferrucci, and as mentioned, he'll be setting the benchmark time for everybody to beat, as we ride in the cockpit of the young American now then, as he heads up towards the final corner, and let's see what he's able to do then. Round the final corner and onto the pit straight. This should be a slower time than the GP2 guys, but by how much? Probably by a few seconds. Across the line, and he does a 1:23.669 with that lap. Josie Newgarden across the line to go fastest, so Newgarden going to the top. What about Ferdinand Hasberg? Across the line he will go, and he goes fastest for the moment, so Hasberg beating Newgarden off the top there then. As we now look at Lucas Di Grassi in the American engineering car. Up towards the final corner will go the Brazilian. And through the final corner he goes, and for some reason we've lost sound. I do apologise for that. And trying to sort out the sound as best as possible, and don't know why the sound ain't coming back on at the moment. But 4th place for Lucas Di Grassi. I'll try and sort out the sound as best as possible. 3rd for Jack Aitken. 7th for Antonio Fawako, as Robert Kubica goes into 5th with that lap. Here comes Nick Heifeld in the Kenny Star Motorsport car. Across the line he goes to go 4th with that lap. As we now look at Kyle Kaiser, across the line he will go, and he goes 7th in the Horizon Motorsport car. Eero Vainio slots to 9th. Will Power across the line he will go only 10th with that lap, so only P10 for Will Power. Here comes Nico Kari in the Suomi Racing car heading out of the final corner, and Kari will now cross the line, and he goes into 11th with that lap. Daniel Kvyat across the line to go 3rd for that lap, so Kvyat up into the top 3. He will go as everybody goes into the pits, as I will try again to sort out this sound problem that we're having. I don't know why we've lost sound. Just gizmo guys, and let me try and sort it out via this. And I wonder if the mute button is on. Tried that and nothing. So keep trying to sort out this problem here. I do apologise for this. I don't know why we've lost sound all of a sudden. So yeah, quite a weird situation here. I don't know why we've lost sound. Let me quit the application and reopen it for a minute with the sound. Still not budging, is it? Why is it doing that? Struggling to get the sound back on, guys. I think there was some more track activity. No, there wasn't. Just some guys going back into the pits. And why is that not working all of a sudden? There we go. No, still nothing at the moment. I do apologise for this. I don't know why we're having these sound issues at the moment. Why is that doing that all of a sudden? Why have we got no sound on either end at this stage? Why have we got no sound? Hang on, let me look at my settings on here. Audio. Still nothing from that end. No, still nothing at this stage. I don't know why we've got these issues. Where the sound's gone. That doesn't work either. I have no idea why we've got these issues. As we've got some track action at the moment while I was trying to sort out that sound there. I do apologise. Alexander Rossi has now gone out onto the track for Willows Racing. He was the first man out on track out of this group of cars that have just gone out at the moment. And as we go through the second to last corner, and so that's that then really. And as Rossi now then starts the lap, I was still trying to suss out what the problem was with the sound. I really need the sound really, because we have the press conference a little bit later on as well. Let me just try and experiment with something. Hang on. So it's Rossi now then out on track as he goes down towards the old hairpin. He's currently on his first flying lap in the Willows racing car. Had a disastrous weekend, let's not forget, in Spain because of what happened between him and Hubert, which has resulted in Hubert getting a qualifying ban. So he's out there on track. We also have Jenson Button, Anthony Davidson, Jarno Trulli, who's back for this weekend only with his old team, Kenny Star Motorsport, replacing Buemi, who's got a weekend ban. Daniel Abt out on track, as is Michael Alatian, Marco Andretti, Joseph Newgarden, Jack Aitken out there, as is Ferdinand Hasberg, Felipe Nasr, Nico Kari, and Kyle Kaiser. Those guys are out on track. Let me just experiment with something here. Just trying to suss out what is wrong with the sound at the moment. Let me just see what's going on here, and that's even not bringing up any sound at all. What's going on? Why have we got no sound at the moment? Very odd. We've got a very huge sound issue at the moment. I don't know why that is. We're going to have to bear with it for now, and I will try and sort it out during the break, maybe to the point where we need to switch off the stream for a bit so I can figure out what the problem is with the sound. As Rossi there then goes into 10th place, so P10 for Alexander Rossi. Jenson Button has gone only 14th with that lap. Here comes Anthony Davidson, P16 for him. Jarno Trulli on his first time back, P16 for him to get in front of Davidson. Daniel Abt crosses the line, P11 for him there then. Michael Alatian goes to 13th with that lap. Here comes Marco Andretti coming out of the final corner, and across the line goes the American, and Andretti goes up to 7th with that lap, so P7 for Marco Andretti. As P1 now for Joseph Newgarden, he improves to go fastest, and Newgarden now on the pole with that lap there then, as we now look at Jack Aitken in the Willows racing car, as he heads up towards the final corner on the track now, then through the final corner and onto the pit straight, and let's see what Jack Aitken is able to do now then. Sorry about that, as Aitken improved there but stayed in 4th. Hasper stays 2nd. P8 for Felipe Nasr. Here comes Nico Kari, who improves but stays in 17th place. Kyle Kaiser now that across the line he will go, and he goes up to 8th with that lap. A brilliant time from Kaiser. He's doing well in this qualifying session, getting himself up into P8 at the moment in this qualifying session. And so that's that then really, and we'll be seeing Kyle Kaiser go into the pits this lap now then, as he just negotiates through the section of corners now then, through the old hairpin, as he will now head up the hill towards the towards McLean's, and now through the corner he will go, and now heading out the corner towards Coppice, and so that's that then really at this stage, and now heading through the double right-hander through Coppice there, up towards the chicane, and Kaiser will be going back into the pits as we wait for another set of cars to come out onto the track. Just under 24 minutes remaining now then in this qualifying session to determine the grid for race 1 tomorrow for IFMC GP3, as Kyle Kaiser now then going up towards the second to last corner now then, as he goes through the right-hander, heading up towards the final corner on the track we will go. And here is Kyle Kaiser going into the pits, as Robert Kubica is now out on track for KR Racing, as now up towards the old hairpin he will go, as he now goes through the section of corners. Even that sounds on for RV Central, so there's nothing wrong there with RV Central, so I don't know what the issue is with the sound. As now going up towards the last 2 corners on the track, so through the Coppice corner now then we go, as Kubica will now approach the chicane on the track, and as you can see now then, Will Power trying to get up close to the back of Robert Kubica, and Power looking to do another flying lap at the moment. He'll be starting one quite soon along with Kubica. Power on track as mentioned, as is Santino Felucci. Eero Vainio out there for Suomi Racing. Lucas Di Grassi. Jarno Trulli has gone back out, as is Marco Andretti. Daniel Kafia out there as well, as is Nick Heifeld. And we'll be expecting Jenson Button, Alexander Rossi and Anthony Davidson to also join these guys on track. As Kubica now then heads down the pit straight to start his next flying lap. and Kubica will now approach the first corner on the track now then, providing that there's nobody at the end of the pit lane to put him off through towards turn 1, which there isn't. Kubica there then, importantly, nobody at the end of the pit lane there for him to jam on the brakes just to avoid him, as it is quite a very weird pit lane exit, it must be said, as they head down the hill towards the old hairpin. And let's see what Kubica is able to do. He uses a lot of curb on the outside up the hill towards the left right-hander on the track of McLean. So through the left-hander there, then goes Robert Kubica as he throws the car in, as he uses a lot of curb on the outside now then to go up towards Coppice corner, the double right-hander now then. And so out of the corner, heading down towards the chicane. And I think Kubica now then will be approaching the end of Sector 2 pretty soon now then, as he will go up towards the chicane. And now through the left and right-hander now then, heading out the corner towards the second to last corner will go Kubica, and let's see what he's able to do then on this lap. The veteran Polish driver now then, who's had quite a good start to his IFMC GP3 campaign. So far finds himself on the cusp of the top 10, but is he looking at an improvement now then? Up towards the final corner goes Robert Kubica, and let's see what he's able to do then. Out the final corner and onto the pit straight goes the Polish driver, and across the line he will go. And he goes up to 5th for that lap, so a big improvement for Kubica to get up into P5 as only 16th for power, but he improves on that time. Anthony Davidson starts a lap at this stage, and as will Rossi and Button. Here is Santina Ferrucci doing well up in 7th place in the AYP racing car, as he just negotiates through the Melbourne hairpin, the second to last corner, using a lot of curb on the outside as he will go up towards the final corner. And let's see what he is able to do then. Round the final corner onto the pit straight then will go Santina Ferrucci, as he will now cross the line. Let's see what he's able to do, and he stays in 7th place. A Ravanio crosses the line, and he stays 14th at the moment with that lap, as Lucas Di Grassi now then heads out of the final corner, currently P11, but can he get his American engineering car back into the top 10? He can. He goes up to 6th for that lap, so up to P6 goes Lucas Di Grassi. A very good time there from the 2016 to 17 Formula E champion. As Jarno Trulli now then, is he looking at an improvement? He is. He goes up to 17th for that lap, so still not in the top 10, but up to 17th nonetheless, an improvement. Still 9th for Marco Andretti, still 3rd for Daniel Kvyat, still 7th for Nick Heifeld at the moment, as a big lock up there for Antonio Fuoco in the AIP racing car, and that will possibly have cost his lap, as he's currently down in 20th, and it does so. He possibly would have been on for an improvement had it not been for that double lock up, and he stays in 20th for the moment there then, as we now look at Anthony Davidson in the shadow now then, as he goes through the final corner. And let's see what Anthony Davidson is able to do now then. Davidson crosses the line, and he stays in 21st. No improvement for the 2014, I believe, 2014 WEC champion with Toyota, now driving for LMP2 in real life, as a result of Toyota ditching him to make way for Fernando Alonso. As now Alexander Rossi crosses the line, and he stays in 12th place, but improves on his best time at this stage. Button goes up to only 17th. Button clearly struggling around here at Donington, and not doing well in front of the home fans at this stage, as Button just goes through turn 1 now then, and we'll be seeing Jenson Button go into the pits this lap, as he just goes through the left-hander and then up towards the old hairpin, using a lot of curb on the outside, as we'll go up the hill towards McLean's. And so now through the left-hander we will go, and Button now then out the corner, using a lot of curb on the outside before approaching the double right-hander at Coppice. So around the corner he goes now then, before approaching the chicane. And in front there, I believe that his fellow compatriot, no it's not, it's Alexander Rossi, who is still in 12th at the moment. Button currently down the field at this stage. Daniel Abt in the American engineering car, back out onto the track, currently 13th at this stage, as he goes through the left-hander now then. And now he'll go through the old hairpin now then, up towards the chicane. So through the left and then through the right-hander will go Daniel Abt, using a lot of curb on the outside before approaching the double right-hander. And so now out the corner towards the chicane will go the young German. and we will see him hop over the curbs quite soon before preparing to start his next flying lap. I think behind that is Felipe Nasser in the shadow. Yes, it is. Nasser has gone back out onto the track in the shadow car as he looks to improve at this stage as he throws the car in through the chicane. Michael Elation out on track for Horizon Motorsport, so he's back out onto the track, as is Jack Aitken in the Willows Racing car. Eero Vainio back out onto the track for Suemi Racing Will Power, also getting out there as well, as is Kyle Kaiser, Ferdinand Hasberg, and we'll be expecting Kari, Heifeld, Newgarden and De Grassi to join these guys on track, and of course Robert Kubica, as Daniel Abt there has just started his lap. Luckily nobody's at the exit of the pit lane to impede him, so Abt should be able to get a clean lap as he tries to get his car into the top 10, maybe get up closer to Grassi, who's currently up in 6th place at the moment in qualifying, as he heads down the hill towards the old hairpin on the track, as we're 9 minutes away from the 6:30 mark, and we have just under 16 3/4 minutes left of this qualifying session to determine the grid for race 1 tomorrow of IFMC GP3 here at Donington. As now through McLean's now then will go Daniel Abt, as he uses as much curb as possible, using a lot of outside curb before approaching the double right-hander. Up now then, flicking the car in, as he will now go up towards the chicane, and let's see what Abt is able to do. In towards the chicane then he'll go before approaching the left-right chicane as mentioned, through the left, then the right-hander. Now then will go Daniel Abt, and now he will approach the final corner, and let's see what Daniel Abt is able to do then. Around the final corner, and then he'll go onto the pit straight, and Abt now then in towards the final corner, and Abt now then is going to cross the line, and let's see what he's able to do. He goes up to 8th for that lap, so a big improvement there for the German. So up into P8 goes Daniel Abt, as Newgarden, the man that's currently on pole, just starts another lap, as an improvement for Nasser, but he's still in the cusp of the top 10, so still in 10th for the moment is Felipe Nasser. As we now look at Michael Elation, who's down in 15th, and it looks like he's going to be holding up Lucas De Grassi once he starts his next flying lap. Elation now then down the pit straight, and across the line goes the young Russian, and he's way off his best time, stays in 15th. Looks like he must have had a lock-up somewhere on the lap, unless De Grassi tried to compromise his lap a little earlier on. Here comes Jack Aitken in the Willows Racing car. Aitken crosses the line and stays 4th for the moment, so still P4 for Jack Aitken. Eero Vainio stays 14th, no improvement there for the young Finn, as Nick Heifeld starts a lap there then. Here comes Will Power in the Dacia Eldorado Jr., currently way down the field in 16th with his teammate Joseph Newgarden, currently on pole position at the moment. As now up towards the final corner then will go Will Power, and let's see what the Aussie's able to do then. Around the final corner and onto the pit straight we will go, and across the line goes Will Powers. It's going to be an improvement. It says he goes up to 11th, but still just outside the top 10 at this stage. Kyle Kaiser crosses the line, stays in 13th, no improvement for him. Still second for Ferdinand Hasberg. Whether Kaiser held him up there, I am not sure. Nico Kari now then will cross the line, and he stays in 19th place there then. Joseph Newgarden in the Dacia Eldorados is going to be an improvement. No, it's not. Stays on 1 minute 23.143 at this stage. As we now look at Robert Kubica in the KR Racing cars, he will head up towards the final corner, and let's see what Kubica is able to do now then. Using a lot of curb on the outside and down the pit straight, he will go, and he stays in 5th there, no improvement. Lucas De Grassi will now cross the line, and he stays in 6th place there then. As now going up towards the final corner then will go Nick Heifeld. Heading down the pit straight and across the line will go Quick Nick. This is going to be an improvement. No, it's not. Stays 7th in the Kenny Star Motorsport car. And so that's that for him, as Power just goes through the second to last corner along with a couple of problems behind. He'll be going back into the pits this lap, but at the moment it is still currently Joseph Newgarden at the top, with Ferdinand Hasberg in 2nd place and Daniel Kvyat running out the top 3 at this stage. In the moment there is Nick Heifeld, who'll be going back into the pits, so far finding himself in 7th place at the moment, out qualifying his teammate for this weekend, Jarno Trulli. So Heifeld doing the business at the moment for Kenny Star Motorsport this weekend. And as mentioned, Buemi will be back for the next weekend of GP3, which takes place at Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium in 3 weeks' time, because for the next 2 weeks, IFMC is travelling to America for the United States Grand Prix and the Mexican Grand Prix. GP2 and GP3 will not be going there with them, so it will just be the top class for the next 2 weeks. As now in towards the chicane then will go Nick Kleifeld. Quick Nick using a lot of curb on the outside there then, as he will now approach the second to last corner. And Nick will be going back into the pits as he just goes through the right-hander there then. And Santino Ferrucci out on track for AYP Racing. And that's that really. Let me just put a fan on there because I am getting a little bit hot in here. So that's that then really. And let's turn it a bit this way. There we go. So there we go then. So Santino Ferrucci out on track. If you can hear some maybe crackling in the microphone or maybe my voice crackling a little bit, I do apologise. I do have the fan behind me because it is starting to get a little bit stuffy in my room at the moment, getting quite hot. So Ferrucci out on track along with Daniel Kvyat. He's out there as well. And we also have Antonio Fuoco, Alexander Rossi out there as well, as is Anthony Davidson in the shadow. So he's out there, as is Jenson Button. Marco Andretti out on track as well for Auto Jamaica. Jarno Trulli out there, as is Felipe Nasr. Santino Ferrucci has just started a lap, as is Daniel Kvyat. And we will be expecting a few more, such as Daniel Abt, Jack Aitken, Michael Lation and Joseph Newgarden to come out onto the track as we look at Ferrucci, who's on his next flying lap now then. And let me just turn it down a notch to 1 so it's not too blowy. And so now Ferrucci now then just going up through McLean's, using a lot of curb on the outside there then, as he will now go through towards the through Coppice Corner now then, as he'll go up towards the chicane. And let's see what Ferrucci can do then on this lap. In the background, of course, as just mentioned a little earlier on, I think that was Alexander Rossi, I believe. No, it's Daniel Kvyat. He's also on the lap as well. Kvyat looking to try and get his Pennzoil Grand Prix car onto the front row. He had a disastrous weekend last time out in Spain after what happened between him and Buemi. And, well, that put pay to the end of the weekend for him now then. As now going up towards the final corner goes Santino Ferrucci. And let's see what he's able to do now then. And let's see what the AYP racing car then is able to do then on this lap then. Ferrucci across the line he will go, and he stays in 9th for that lap, no improvement. Here comes Daniel Kvyat now then in the Pennzoil Grand Prix car. Across the line he will go, and he does improve in fact, but he stays in 3rd place at the moment. The top 3 quite close to each other at the moment in this qualifying session. Daniel Abt starting a lap quite soon, as is Newgarden. Here comes Antonio Fuoco now then in the AYP racing cars. He now approaches the Melbourne hairpin. And let's see what Fuoco is able to do now then, as he heads out of the corner towards the final corner on the track. And Fuoco, let's see what he is able to do then on this lap. Around the final corner and onto the pit straight goes Antonio Fuoco now then. And let's see then, the cross line he will go, and he stays in 20th, no improvement. As Jack Aitken starts a lap behind in the Willows racing car. Michael Lation also starting one. Here is Alexander Rossi in the Willows racing car, currently in 14th, as he just negotiates through the final corner. And let's see what Rossi is able to do. Across the line he will go, and is he going to improve? Nope, stays 14th for that lap and doesn't improve at this stage. Anthony Davidson across the line, doesn't improve, stays 21st for the moment, as it's still 17th for Jenson Button, still 12th for Marco Andretti, as it's still 10th for Felipe Nasr, as we have just over 9 minutes of this session remaining to determine the grid for race 1 tomorrow of IFMC GP3. As we look at Daniel Abt, who appeared to be down on his personal best in the second sector there then. Abt approaching the second to last corner. And let's see what the young German is able to do now then, as he will now approach the final corner. And Abt now then going through the final corner and onto the pit straight we will go. And Daniel Abt now then is going to cross the line, and he stays in 8th place with that lap there then. So that's that. As Newgarden, I don't think has improved. He stays on a 1 minute 22.852. In fact, I don't think the top 3 are close to each other at all. Maybe the top 2, but we'll see. In fact, I think that does say, yeah, he did improve, in fact, by 0.3 of a second. So a big improvement there from Joseph Newgarden. And, wow, a very, very big improvement from the man who won race 1 in Spain. Aitken doesn't improve, stays 4th, and that's his qualifying session over. He's got no more laps to run in this session. So, and as is Joseph Newgarden as well. So his final flying lap proved to be an improvement for him there then. So Newgarden on pole position at the moment. Will Ferdinand Hasberg or even Daniel Kvyat find a chance to try and stop him from taking pole position for race 1 here at Donington? We will wait and see now then as Newgarden approaches the chicane now then, flicking the car in. So that's that as Jack Aitken now then just goes through the second part of Coppice. And so he'll be going back into the pits this lap as well, as he's currently 4th at this stage. Kyle Kaiser 13th at the moment, as is Michael Asian is 16th. He'll be starting Kyle Kaiser, will be starting a flying lap quite soon. Anybody else on track? No, well, I saw somebody coming out of the pit lane, so he will be joined by somebody else, Kyle Kaiser. Luckily for him, the guy in front, which I believe is Jack Aitken, is going back into the pit. So Kaiser has nothing to worry about as far as he's concerned there, as he now just powers through the final corner. He's now about to start his first flying lap. Well, his next flying lap, I should say. Heading down the pit straight towards turn 1, he will go. And so through to the corner he goes as Nico Kari goes out on track. Luckily for Kaiser's sake, he didn't get held up there by Nico Kari, as they now head down the hill through the left-hander, heading towards the old hairpin as he flicks the car in, using a little bit of curb on the outside, heading up the hill towards McLean's. And let's see what Kaiser is able to do on this lap as he heads out the corner, heading towards the double right-hander of Coppice, and now in towards the chicane. And we'll see in a bit what Kaiser is able to do. 6 minutes remaining now then in this session to determine the grid for race 1 of IFMC GP3. Kaiser's got to be careful he doesn't come up close to the back of Kari, otherwise that's going to ruin his lap as he just goes out of the chicane. And that looked like he was down on his personal best in the second sector there then, but we'll wait and see if that is able to materialise into the last sector, or whether Kaiser can improve as he now heads down the straight towards the final corner. And let's see what Kyle Kaiser is able to do then. The 2017 Indy Lights champion in real life heads down the pit straight, and Kaiser crosses the line and does not improve. Says on 1 minute 23.869 and stays in 13th place at the moment on his final flying lap. It's Kvyat and Kubica and Power and even De Grassi and even Heifeld and Ferrucci are preparing for their final flying laps. Ferdinand Hasberg is on a final flying lap, and he's got to be careful that Fuoco doesn't intervene, because Fuoco's right in the Austrian slipstream as they now head up towards the chicane. Let's see what Ferdinand Hasberg is able to do on this lap as he heads towards the chicane. And Hasberg finding himself in the sandwich, and Fuoco trying to get the move done into the chicane. And Fuoco heading down the inside towards that chicane and gets the move done as well. So Hasberg's lap has been compromised as a result. And Fuoco there then just staying where he is at the moment as they now approach the right-hander. And well, that's that really. Is now Fuoco goes towards the left-hander on the track, and let's see what he's able to do then. Down the pit straight then goes Fuoco to start out. How much time has Hasberg lost as a result of Fuoco? And as a result, a lot of time. In fact, 2.6 seconds he lost on his final flying lap, and he doesn't. And as a result, has cost him a chance of pole position. Eero Vainio stays in 15th for the moment. So that's that. Here comes Nico Kari going down the straight. At least there will be some overtaking, potentially down at the chicane, which will take him onto the Grand Prix track. Kari doesn't improve and stays 19th. A disappointing session for the young Finn. As we now look at Danny Kvyat, he's currently third at the moment, as behind him is Jarno Trulli. So Trulli looking to complete a lap, I think. Kvyat now then crossing the line and doesn't improve. He stays in third place, unable to get himself onto the front row on his final flying lap. Trulli starting his final flying lap now. In fact, Robert Kubica now then through the Melbourne hairpin. Is he going to try and get up close to the top two of Newgarden and Hasberg? As now we go up towards the final corner and onto the pit straight we will go. And heading down the straight, Kubica improves to go up to second with that lap. So Kubica onto the front row. Robert Kubica up into second place. A brilliant time from the Polish driver. And it's P2 for him. Up to 10th place goes Will Power. So he finally gets his car to the top 10. Still 6th for Lucas Di Grassi. Still 7th for Nick Heifeld on that lap. Here comes Santino Ferrucci in the AYP racing car. And he stays in 9th. No improvement for the young American. His teammate Antonio Fuoco. Can he improve across the line? He will go. And he does, but he stays in 20th, still way down the field at the moment on the second to last row on the grid for Antonio Fuoco. Here comes Anthony Davidson now then on his lap as he goes up towards the final corner. Davidson down the pit straight. Can he get off the back row of the grid? Davidson crosses the line, and no, he can't. Stays 21st with that lap, and that's that really, which is effectively last because of Hubert's qualifying ban. As here's Jarno Trulli then on his final flying lap, just going around the final corner. Can he improve from 18th place? Trulli heading down the pit straight and across the line he will go, and he stays in 18th place and does not improve. So disappointment there then for Jarno Trulli. As now Marco Andretti's out on track to start his final flying lap as he just puts a pass there on Santino Ferrucci into the chicane. So that's that, and Andretti preparing to start his next flying lap. Andretti currently in 12th place at the moment in the Auto Jamaican car. His teammate looking to be at maximum third now here in qualifying after Kubica got his KR racing car onto the front row alongside Joseph Newgarden. So now Andretti prepares to start his final flying lap as he just goes out of the final corner. As now he goes down the pit straight, and let's see what Marco Andretti is able to do then. He had the jam on the brakes there because Rossi was just coming out of pit lane, and that will affect Andretti's lap as a result. 1 minute and 30 seconds remaining then in this qualifying session to determine the grid for race 1 of GP3. Andretti's lap has been compromised as a result of Rossi going out of pit lane as Rossi is preparing to start his final flying lap now then, as he tries to get the Willows racing car into the top 10, maybe get it up close to teammate Jack Aitken, who's currently now 5th. Maybe try and get it onto the same row if he can as they go through the right-hander on the track, heading up towards the double right-hander at Coppice. And so let's see how much time Andretti has lost then going up towards the end of Sector 2 as he heads down the back straight towards the chicane. And so up towards the chicane then will go Marco Andretti, and and he's 1/10 down in the second sector, nearly 2/10 I should say, down on his personal best. And it looks like that Andretti yet again is going to be qualifying outside the top 10, so disappointment from his side of the garage. An okay reaction possibly on Ferdinand Hasberg's side of the garage, but we will say it's now Andretti comes up towards the final corner. Rossi preparing to start his final flying lap, and let's see what Rossi's fellow compatriot Marco Andretti can do down the pit straight and across the line. How much time has he lost? And he's lost only 4/10 that time around, but still stays in 12th on his final flying lap. Not exactly what he wanted there then. As Button goes around the final corner. Now will he have enough time to cross the line? Because he only has 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Only just for Button as the checker flag is out, and that's the end of the session. Nazar unable to do a final flying lap, and he will be starting in P number 11. As Elation, also another guy unable to make the cut. Looked like he just went out for a mileage run, then it appeared. So here comes Alexander Rossi on his final flying lap, approaching the double right-hander at Coppice. As let's see then what Rossi is able to achieve as he just goes out of the corner now then before approaching the chicane. And Alexander Rossi now then just going up towards the chicane on the track. And let's see then. So now through the left and then the right, and now up towards the second to last corner then will go Alexander Rossi as he just flicks the car in. And so now heading out the corner, and let's see, is this going to be an improvement then for Alexander Rossi on his final flying lap in the Willows Racing car. Can he get the car into the top 10? Around the final corner and onto the pit straight we will go. And Rossi now then, is this going to be an improvement? Across the line he will go. And he improves, but only goes up to 12th place and not into the top 10. And that's that then for Alexander Rossi. Up into 12th place he will go. Here comes Daniel Abt now then, who's currently 8th. Can he improve in the American engineering car? Across the line. And he does, but he stays in 8th place. Only improving on lap time there then. Jenson Button across the line, improves but stays 17th. And there you have it then. So after all of that, it is Joseph Newgarden who takes pole position for race 1 tomorrow in the Dacia Eldorado Junior. A very good time from Joseph Newgarden as he hopes to make it 2 victories this season if he can and get himself back in the lead in the Drivers' Championship. So there you have it then, guys. After all of that, here is the grid for race 1 tomorrow for IFMC GP3. Joseph Newgarden will start on pole position with Robert Kubica second, Ferdinand Hasberg in third, Daniel Kvyat in fourth, with Jack Aitken 5th, Lucas Di Grassi in 6th, Nick Heifel 7th, Daniel Abt in 8th, Santino Ferrucci in 9th, with Will Power 10th, Felipe Nasr 11th, Alexander Rossi 12th, Marco Andretti 13th, Kyle Kaiser in 14th. And if we scroll down the rest of the field, it is Eero Vainio in 15th, it is then Michael Aleix in 16th, Jenson Button 17th, with Jarno Trulli 18th, Nico Kari in 19th, Antonio Farocco 20th, Anthony Davidson 21st, and due to his qualifying ban, Antoine Hubert is in 22nd and last. So there you have it then, guys. That is the grid for race 1 tomorrow here at Donington. They'll be on tomorrow at 3:30 PM BST. But that's it for the on-track action for today. But stick around now, guys, because coming up next is the press conference for the top class. So if you've got any questions for the team bosses at present, please leave them down in the Twitch chat. I don't know whether I should stop the stream briefly to try and sort out this sound problem or whether to stay on and try and sort them out on there, but I'll wait and see anyway. So if it goes off, don't be surprised. But anyway, guys, that has been it. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you want to go and grab a quick drink, you can. But until then, I'll be JWF1, and I'll see you guys in just a little bit.